Welcome back. Episode 8,000.
Episode 765,004. And today we have a special treat for you. And if this is bothering you, I don't know what to tell you.
Listen, okay, someone thought it was a period like on the screen. It's
I'm so
not.
sorry.
It's literally a hole in the wall because my old, like the people that I bought this house from, they had like cords just like running through all of the rooms in the house. And so there's holes in every room. And we took the cords obviously out because we didn't need those. And we just haven't fixed it yet.
Yeah.
So it's just a hole in the wall.
And on the other end, I have glasses on. Anytime I post.
Are they real?
Are they real? Every time I post with my glasses on, everyone's like, are those fake? Like, no, I'm blind. I usually have contacts in, but I could not be bothered today. And
As you should.
As I should, because contacts are expensive and I have dailies and I didn't want to put them in. So.
And contacts are hard.
But listen.
But that's just like for me.
I am so blind. Like, so blind. If you take me to the eye doctor, I will not be able to read any of the letters. I have
none of them.
I have 99% memorized by now, but if they switched it up, I'd be like, couldn't tell ya.
Do they all have the same? Are they all the exact same eye test letters?
Yeah, you can ask my mom. She can recite them all because my mom is blind. That's where I get it from. Thanks, Mom.
Stop. I didn't.
Yeah.
Did you know I had 20/20 vision until I was like 22.
Oh, I sure didn't. My brother's did.
21.
Good for you. So yeah, I'm super blind. Caitlin and I are both blind. So yeah, so if this bothers you, get over it. Anyway. We are here to talk to you about NFL Week 5 matchups. Predictions.
NFL Week 5, a baby. Because I just feel like looking ahead to the Sunday slate, there's several good games, several games that literally no one cares about. No offense to like people that are fans of those teams. But I just feel like it would be fun to look ahead to what Sunday has for us, injuries or just like what we can expect, any upsets we might expect, any surprise games.
We thought it would be fun to... We each picked like scores for each game. We just thought it would be fun to kind of preview what's happening, of course, I'm going to say quick now at the beginning of the video, and I'm sure this will end up being an hour at the very least, but hopefully a quick video. We just thought it would be fun to start doing this each week. So our first game is at like 6:30 a.m. PST. So
in London.
Doubtful that I will watch it live, but I will likely want to watch it later. It's in London. London, sorry.
Sorry.
Love that for them, hate that for us.
I want to go to London.
I want to go to London so freaking bad. But yeah, they have a London game randomly, but I guess not randomly. I didn't realize that they actually did this more often than I thought they did.
They pick like 2 games per year. I think that my
Vikings are like always in London, I think they said.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, when
the Vikings are hosting the Jets.
Oh yeah, I was like, huh?
I knew that.
Yes, it's funny because I was just telling you I was in Germany last December, and I think it was right before the Miami game. I think they did it like in December that year. And it was right before that Miami game, and I was so jealous. I was like, am I just missing it?
Sorry.
Well, I guess, how do you say sorry in German? Sorry. That was bad.
I'm not even going to attempt a German accent. Okay, so it was the Dolphins and the Chiefs, but it should have been the Lions because Amon St. Brown,
right?
He speaks German. He speaks fluent German.
It's literally so disrespectful.
Fun fact, if you didn't watch The Receiver Show, Amon St. Brown, his mom is from Germany, and his dad was like a pro wrestler, I think.
Shut up.
And
That's
they
so
met
cool.
like over his dad was always traveling, and they met overseas. And so she, of course, like I think only speaks to them in German. Like they showed clips of it at dinner, and she would only speak to them in German. And he said he would hate it because like on the way to school when he was younger, she would make him they would have to like recite German vocabulary words and they would have to like read a book in German.
Stop.
But he's like, he said he's so grateful for it now.
Of course,
anyway, so it's really
yes.
cool if you hear him like talking in German, obviously.
Food in Germany is really good.
Back to London, the Vikings and the Jets. The Vikings and the Jets. Sam Darnold played his first 3 seasons with the Jets. So
Revenge game?
Revenge-ish game? I don't know.
Or just like a comeback game, because like the best part about it is that like obviously he didn't do super awesome with the Jets. They were kind of what's the word I'm thinking of? Like what's the word I'm thinking of? They were not unimportant. They were
Irrelevant?
Irrelevant. They were irrelevant. Mm-hmm.
So good.
I love you for that. Thank you.
So, speaking of comeback, though, I have something to say about that because
tell
I think he's a
me.
front runner for comeback player of the year.
I do too.
And I think he almost damn near looks like a legit MVP candidate. So right now, Sam Darnold is leading the NFL in touchdown passes with 11 and passer rating. And then he's 9th in passing yards. He's has
incredible.
a career high right now of his completion percentage, 68.9%. And he has become the only NFL quarterback in the Super Bowl era to begin the season with 4 straight wins, throwing 2 or more touchdown passes per game.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, Sammy.
So on the other end, Aaron Rodgers, besides last game, I guess against our number 3 defense.
Yeah, baby.
But through week 3, before last week, Rodgers averaged the 3rd fastest time to throw in the league at 2.48 seconds.
Sounds about right.
And he's the only quarterback to record 3 big-time throws released in less than 2.5 seconds, which is like...
That's crazy.
1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi throw.
Yeah. And they're
1 Mississippi throw.
And like that, you have to have like fast receivers for that.
Yeah. I always say... Everyone knows that quarterback is one of obviously the toughest decisions. But every time I watch the game, and I've been watching football for a lot of years, it's so wild to me that you have to, because I break it down every time I'm watching the game and I'm seeing the receivers run and I'm like, they had to time the angle and that throw while the receiver is running there. You're not throwing to him where he's standing. You're throwing to
passing
where
ahead.
you think he's going to be. I don't know. I know that's just a silly thing because, yes, we know this. But every time I watch a football game, I'm like, holy junk. Like,
And that's why it's so important, like for receivers and tight ends and stuff like that, to run their routes accurately.
Yes.
Because like the quarterback is throwing where you're like supposed to be. Yeah.
So,
especially for like those longer passes and stuff
insane.
like that.
I wouldn't even call it glazing I hate that word, the Minnesota Vikings, but I am like obsessed with them, low-key. So because I just love good defense.
Me too.
Like I love it all. I love a well put both sides of the game.
Yep.
Offense and defense. It just makes it such beautiful, sexy football.
Period.
And Vikings defense has been insane. So,
They have. I literally, okay. And so what I was going to say on that with like the Vikings defense is that the Jets O-line has to be better. The Vikings defense has like some of like the best and fastest blitzers.
Oh, yes.
But like last game against the Broncos and everything, the O-line was nothing for Aaron Rodgers. They had 14 QB hits and 5 sacks.
I have really fun. I love my football stats. So
I love them.
Tell
me more.
I love like the rankings of things.
Okay,
so
yeah.
Minnesota leads the NFL in pressures, 62 through 4 weeks, sacks 17, passes defended 32, are tied for first in interceptions with 8, and have the second highest blitz percentage at 40.8%.
I'm so smart.
Do you know who's first?
Is it the Broncos? Is it? Oh, sorry.
The Broncos.
That was the loudest I've been in years.
The Broncos are 44.1%.
They're incredible. I'm so proud.
That's insane.
I'm so
go
proud.
Broncos. But they're also, so Minnesota also ranks 4th in NFL in points allowed, but the Jets are ranked right behind the Vikings at 5th and are 2nd in passing yards allowed per game, tied for 4th in sacks, and tied for 2nd in yards allowed per play and passing touchdowns. So I'm excited for this game.
I am too.
If they're coming back, like I'm sure on the other end, like with the Jets, they're going to want to come back. They just got embarrassed in Denver because the week before Aaron looked amazing. He looked like himself. So it's a little awkward. I have the Vikings, my pick right now. I have Vikings at 26, Jets at 20. So I think both of them have good defenses.
Yeah.
They also can have great offenses.
Yeah.
So I have them like close. I mean, but I think the Vikings are absolutely going to cover, especially because the Aaron Rodgers and his head coach seem to have a little awkward
little tiff.
So
Yes.
I don't know if like the chemistry right now. Of course, the head coach isn't on the field, but you should have a good relationship. Otherwise, it's just awkward all around.
Yes. And like, so for me, I kind of said the same thing. So the Vikings have been some of the highest scorers all season, obviously.
Yeah.
But I don't think that they're going to hit like that 30-point mark this week just because the Jets do have a really good pass defense that they can put against Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
And so I think that they'll at least limit them a little bit. I have the Vikings winning 27-17. So I think it'll be, similar.
Yeah.
I just think that, like you said, like the Jets are kind of like off right now. And if their O-line performs anything like they did last time, I just don't think that they're going to be able to get down the field as quickly and as much as they would like to.
And I have the Vikings going 5-0, and I think they are one of two obviously undefeated teams. And I think
they remain the only one after this week. That's my personal guess.
I fucking hope so.
Yep. Okay, you want to go to the next one?
Yeah.
I have Panthers versus Bears, obviously, is the next one. And here's the thing. No offense, Bears fans. I have a lot of Chicago friends on like socials and stuff like that, and they're all very bitter that I keep picking against the Bears. And I'm so sorry. I just like, I don't think that they're bad. Yes, for me, like the Bears are one of those teams, kind of like the Bengals, where like they're like good enough to compete, not good enough to pull out the win every game. And so I just like, and they've played a lot of harder teams and stuff like that too, besides the Panthers. So I have the Panthers actually winning this game. And the only reason that I say that is because my fun fact is that the Panthers were the worst team in yards per game at 176. The worst team. They had 176 yards per game. That's crazy. And with Andy Dalton, they now have the fifth most per game with 406. They have more than doubled their offensive yards per game since Andy Dalton came in. And I just think that the Bears don't have the most incredible defense in the world. It's not that they're bad or anything, but they're not great. And
sure aren't.
Yeah, so I just think that the Panthers are probably going to be able to find a rhythm like a little bit early. I also, the Panthers also have a very injured defense though.
Yeah.
So I don't see this being like a super high scoring game. The Panthers are literally missing 5 guys on defense. And so they're literally just adding like a few new guys, a few second stringers, third stringers, maybe even practice squad
It's your
guys.
time to show up and show out.
Straight up. So hopefully like they show up, but I just don't know if like the defensive chemistry and, you know, things like that, the scheme is going to work perfectly the way that they want to. So I don't know. I have it being a close game.
And I for the Chicago fans, you can be friends with me. I don't know you. I picked the Bears. I picked them to do 24 and Panthers 17. Okay. So I'm not like confident in this one. Okay?
I'm not either. I like literally wrote my score and said, don't trust it.
Yeah, I like at first glance, like I kind of, you kind of think this could be like a sneaky chance for Carolina to cover, but I think this also could favor the Bears. Obviously, you talked about injuries and
Panthers
such.
defense, yeah.
But, Chicago's offensive line is among the worst, obviously. Poor Caleb Williams. I feel so bad for him.
I just want to give him a hug after every game.
Literally, I feel so bad.
Yep.
But Carolina, however, ranks 31st in sacks per pass attempt, and they aren't really great at pressuring. So if you're not already great with your starters, unless, again, the second stringer, sometimes they show up and, you never know. So I do think if Caleb Williams has time to throw, which he should with a really bad defensive line, then he should be able to make some plays. And I think he is improving and getting a little more comfortable each week. Mm-hmm. So on the other side, like Chicago's defense is aggressive and Carolina could struggle to like keep possession and convert on like third and fourth down. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not confident.
You have 24-17 Bears?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, because for me too, and the reason I said I wasn't confident is I originally picked the Panthers to win this. And then the more I just like read up on it and realized realized that I was like, oh shit, like the Panthers do have an entirely injured defense. And on top of that, their entirely injured defense is already ranked 29th for their rushing
29?
defense. Yeah, 29?
29.
For their run defense. And so I think we're probably going to see a really big game for DeAndre Swift and Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams can run. And I think that that's like a really important part of his game that he needs to utilize more with not having like as many offensive targets. We'll see. I have the score very close. I have it at 21-20 Panthers. And I said, don't trust it.
Don't trust it. I don't trust mine. We'll see.
We'll see how this one goes.
Again, Caitlin and I were like, let's just throw out numbers and then it'll like be fun to see who's closest or whatnot. Yep. We can like keep like a little tally and post it.
Oh, I love that. That's a great idea.
And keep it on or put it on Monday. So next we have Browns versus Commanders. Boo, tomato, tomato.
Only to the Browns.
Only to the Browns. Again, I know I'm supposed to hate the Commanders as a Cowboys fan. Don't kill me, but I really like Jaden Daniels. And they've got a good thing going right now. So I put, because again, this is one we're not going into like strict detail like in every single game.
Yeah, of course.
Especially because I think that the Commanders have no chance of losing this. Knock on.
I said Commanders should run all over the Browns.
Yeah, in a way. Like I think offensively, I think the Commanders run away with it. I think Commanders are going to I have them at 24 and Browns 17. And I say that because Browns have good defense in theory. Like they have some of the best defensive pieces and they're starting to put it together. Their offense is terrible. So like, I mean, they suck. And so does their quarterback. Yeah. So I definitely I have them, getting to 17. I'm sure they're going to have to kick some field goals. Commanders in the past couple weeks, everyone has started to put it together. Jaden Daniels is thriving. We think he's going to be offensive rookie of the year. So I think Commanders O-line for me will decide this game because because the Browns have such good defense.
Yeah, that's valid.
And they're young, so I just really think that as long as they can get Jaden Daniels to his spots, like that he's been creating his plays, then I think it'll be fine. I think Commanders, but I do think because of their defense, they're not gonna, because they beat the Cardinals, it was like 42-12 or something. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think they're gonna get that high scoring of a game.
Yeah. But I agree with that one. And so I don't think that they're going to get as high scoring of a game either for the same reason, just because the Browns do have a better defense than the Cardinals, obviously. Mm-hmm. So I do think that the Browns are going to make it a little bit harder for the Commanders to score.
You mean the Browns have a... Oh, wait.
Yeah, the Browns have the
Cardinals from last week. Okay.
Yes. Yep,
I got it too late after I had already said something.
No, you're good. Yes, I think the Browns have a better defense than the Cardinals, and so I think that the Commanders will not score as highly. I do have them scoring 31. I have the score being 31-17, so still a high scoring game just because they are.
You think they get an extra touchdown? Period.
I do. Yes, I think that they obviously can use Jeremy McNichols and Brian Robinson Jr. They are their high utilization running backs and everything. I think that they'll kind of do that all over the Browns, literally run all over the Browns because the Browns have a little bit of a better pass defense. So I think that they'll hopefully slow down on that a little bit. But also the Commanders defense, I think that they should hopefully sack Watson like 12 times. That's it's not only my guess, it is my biggest wish. So just asking for that real quick.
I'm begging.
Literally. But my last point is just that the Browns do not use their run game a lot at all, except for like Jerome Ford. So I think that they'll probably utilize him a little bit more because the Commanders do have such a good pass defense. So they're going to have to figure something out. So I don't know. That's my vibes. I do think that the Browns score a couple on them. But I still have the Commanders overall kind of stomping on them a little bit.
Period.
31-17 Commanders. That's what I have.
All right, next is Patriots versus Dolphins.
I shouldn't laugh. I'm sorry.
This is the battle of ass. I have Patriots at 13, Dolphins at 10. So
Patriots 13, Dolphins 10.
Very low scoring.
Yep.
So it cracks me up because after like the Patriots won the first week, everyone's like, are they better than we thought they were going to be? And then they've slowly become what we all expected, which is
like each week they're like
slow decline. So with each passing week, the Patriots offense has looked worse and worse, which they obviously got wrecked by the 49ers.
Oh my God, their O-line. I swear to God, like,
you guys are rough.
Literally put me in for your entire O-line, like by myself, and I will protect Brissett better than that O-line.
Yeah.
By myself.
Poor Jacoby Brissett. He's getting torched on the field.
He is. I feel so bad for him.
They just look bad. I don't know. They're running, one of their running backs, Ramondre Stevenson, has had problems like holding on to the football.
He's fumbled in every single game.
So many fumbles.
Yes, he's fumbled in every game this season
and
so far.
None of their receivers have really like come out as like really great options. And now with, Tua out, the Dolphins have had equally terrible struggles. What was it? Tyreek Hill has had 80 yards in three games or something like that.
Yeah, they've like underutilized him. They can't complete a pass.
So bad. Their offense looks atrocious without Tua. I do think Mike McDaniels needs to figure something out. That's Mike McDaniel. Sorry, we talked about this a couple episodes ago.
I always do that, though. I know, I always do. It's so hard not to.
And then if I say it right, someone's like, congrats on saying his name right. And I'm like, oh shit, I like need to remember that.
My bad. Yeah, I F it up all the time. If there's one thing to know about me, I am always wrong. Yeah. So if I am, just please correct me politely. I would love to fix it.
Yes. So I know his last name is McDaniel, but McDaniels just seems like that's what it should be.
McDaniels, McDonald's, same vibes.
No. So we said a couple episodes ago talking about what they should do with Tua out, utilizing more of the tight ends. Obviously, you have to switch up your offensive scheme. You cannot give your backup quarterback the same scheme as Tua Tagovailoa. I think that's what it is. You cannot give your QB2 the same offensive scheme as Tua Tagovailoa. So I think both teams have lost 3 in a row. Both of them. Wow.
Come on, Mom. Just kidding.
Both teams have lost 3 in a row, and one of those streaks will obviously snap this weekend. So someone will at least
I always
get a win.
tell people losing streaks have to end at some point.
Yeah, terrible O-line on the Patriots side. Disgusting. Yeah. So I didn't have too much to say otherwise. This is just going to be a really terrible watch. I don't know if I will watch this game simply because it might be too painful, and I don't know how much I want to torture myself on Sunday. So we'll see.
And I'm same vibes as you. I do think it's going to be a really low scoring game, but mostly because the Patriots and the Dolphins are actually the 2 lowest scoring teams in the league currently, averaging like 8 and 10 points per game. It's really bad. So it is going to be a low scoring game, but I think those two playing against each other, they probably will score a little bit more often because they do both not have awesome defenses either. And so I think there will be a little bit more scoring than we're used to, but not as much. So I have them at 17-14 Patriots winning.
Did I say I had that? I think, I have Patriots winning.
Yeah.
If I didn't.
You did, I think. Okay. Yeah. And like for me, I was reading up a little bit about it, and they were literally saying that they were just waiting for Huntley to pick up Tua's offense. And I'm like, that's not how it works. Like I get understanding like certain offensive schemes and plays and stuff like that. Yes, but apparently the offensive...
Okay, that's one way to do it.
Well, yeah, but like the offensive coordinator apparently then came out and was like, I'm actually like now looking at different ways to like help him succeed.
Yeah, you probably should before you lose your job. Buck.
Yeah, truly. It's been really bad. But on the other end too, OBJ has returned to practice and might be available to play Sunday. Odell Beckham Jr. would be back.
I love Odell Beckham Jr.
Me too. So that would be a game changer in my opinion. I love that for you. That would be...
Yeah, but if the quarterback can't throw to him, will it?
Correct. That's what I was saying. I was going to say it might be a little bit of a game changer, hence a little bit more scoring.
You have Tyreek Hill, so I'm like...
And you're not utilizing... Hey, Mom. And you're not utilizing him.
Do you want to hold my hand?
Kind of. A little bit. And also, they did say... So I think Ramondre Stevenson is out. And so I think they're going to have Antonio Gibson starting running back.
That you're not a fumbler.
Again, that's what I was going to say. That's why I think it's going to be a little bit higher scoring than we've seen. Not much, obviously. I literally have there being 4 total touchdowns in this game. 17-14. That's kind of my vibes. So we'll see. I hope that the Patriots get their second win of the year. Go team.
Period. Go team. On to, I don't have many notes on this one. Just
I
because
don't either. It's another crappy game.
Colts versus Jaguars. My pick is Colts 24, Jaguars 17.
Okay.
Jags are the only winless team so far, but the Colts have not won in Jacksonville since 2014. So everyone is like, not everyone. Most people are putting Jacksonville to get their first win.
Interesting. That would make sense.
I guess because they put a good game together last week at the beginning, but you couldn't finish. So I don't know. Yeah. I was really high up on the Colts earlier, like
I was
NFL
too.
Week 1.
Yes, we both were.
And
we
it's
were
just
like
been
so
like
hyped.
sloppy.
Yeah.
So I think it just depends on which team, like which Colts team I'm seeing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Which Colts team shows up. And like, I feel like the thing about this is that like, first of all, I also have it being like just like another really slow game.
Yeah.
I have it actually 17-13, so I have it even lower. I do have the Colts winning and the Jags going 0-5. And it's, I always love those stories, like the 49ers and the Vikings. Like the 49ers haven't lost in Minnesota or haven't won in Minnesota in however long.
Forever.
Yeah, exactly. And so I love stories like that. So I think that that'll probably like
I do think it matters, like clearly, because it gets in your head eventually.
That's what I was going to say. So like I do think that like the Jags will kind of like come out like knowing that that's kind of the vibes, because people always talk about that stuff.
Yeah.
But I also think the Colts will come out knowing that those are the vibes. Anthony Richardson, they're going to need to keep the ball on the ground because Anthony Richardson does have the most interceptions thrown in the league. And so they're going to need to try to run the ball.
Yeah, I guess it depends on if he plays, you know what I mean? Like, or if Joe Flacco is playing.
Shit, so true. He's injured.
Yeah, they said I think he's questionable as of right now, but I could be wrong.
So true. Okay, well then I guess it does totally depend, because if Joe Flacco does play, I think that it's game over for the Jags, because I think like
he's just consistent.
I was gonna say as old as he is or whatever, he's very much so Kirk Cousins right now.
Very like tried and true.
Yes, you just like he's got that quarterback knowledge. He knows how to play the game, and he can make stuff happen.
You can just plug and play him, and he clearly did well. He was like 16 of 26, I think, in the last
exactly
in the
last half of the game, whatever it was. Yep. So I have 17-13 Colts. I have it being another low scoring game. The Colts do have one of the worst run defenses, but they did show up last week on their run defense. Like they really took that up another notch, and were like, okay, why are we so awful here? And they figured it out. So I think that they're probably going to continue that and be a little bit better than the worst run defense in the NFL.
We'll see.
I know it's going to be bad either way.
We'll see. Next, I have Bills versus Texans on the opposite end, because I think, of course, I said this on Monday. Caitlin and I both said this. We thought that the Lions and Seahawks game would be much more
defensive.
On the opposite end, we thought that was going to be a defensive showdown, and it turned out not to be. On this end, we think the Bills versus Texans is going to be an offensive showdown. Who knows? I have
big scoring babies.
I think Caitlin and I disagreed. I have Bills 34, Texans 24. I think the most obvious weakness for the Texans is their run defense. They have allowed 4.7 yards per carry through the first 4 weeks. Unfortunately for them, the Bills' offense is built to run the football, and they can do both. But when they have success on the ground, they're in a really good spot to win.
I agree.
But the Ravens were able to stop their run, and on the other end, were able to run.
Yep.
So, and they put the Bills in a negative game split, which led to a loss for Buffalo. So I
agree.
think on the other end, Texans-wise, I think the Texans have a really good young roster, but I still think they need a little more time to truly be considered an elite team in the AFC.
Absolutely.
So again, I think the Bills could end up taking advantage of this, especially because when you saw CJ Stroud and the Vikings, he gets really frustrated, I think, in those bigger matchups, I've noticed.
Yeah.
So I'm taking the Bills at 34 and Texans at 24.
Okay. So for me, this is the one that we disagree on. I actually have, again, I also think it's going to be a really big offensive game. I have the score being 34-27, but the Texans, and the reason that I say that, and this is so, I don't know, a lot of it's not even football related. Some of it is, but Von Miller obviously just got suspended this week for 4 games and will continue to be out. And I think that when you're a team that goes through the Dolphins with everything with Tyreek Hill when he got arrested before the game and everything like that, I think that when you're a team that goes through really big PR issues, it affects the mentality of the entire team.
Yeah.
It kind of becomes something that like surrounds you. And the Bills obviously.
And they got embarrassed this past week, so I see where you're coming from. And
Exactly.
Josh Allen looked down.
He did. Exactly. He looked really rough.
Defeated.
And so, exactly. And that's like, again, I was reading up on it as we do. And, a lot of people were talking about how like, is this like, because the Bills looked incredible before last week. And so they were like, okay, like, is this just like a 1-game thing or is it something that's going to continue for a little bit? And like, in my opinion, I don't necessarily think it's a 1-game thing, but I also don't think it's something that's going to stay around forever. I just think that like, they're just kind of going through like a couple of odd like changes and some really weird. Obviously, it's really frustrating when you're getting your ass kicked. That's valid. And then, a really big piece of your defense now gets suspended for 4 games on some really horrible charges, turning himself in for that. And so it's just like, it's a lot of PR. It's a lot of like mental stress. And then you're still trying to figure out a way to go against a really good Texans team. And so for me, I have the Texans pulling out 34 and the Bills with 27. I think that for the Texans, they're going to use Tank Dell and Cam Akers a lot more. I think that Cam Akers is going to be used like a crap ton because the Bills actually have the 3rd worst run defense. That they are 3rd in offensive rush yards or opponent rush yards allowed. Yes, I hate those stats. But so they allow like some of the most rush yards per game at like over 200. So if the Texans were smart, CJ Stroud will be utilizing Cam Akers a lot, but then they can also utilize Tank Dell with like the short passes, hitch plays and slants, whatever it may be. I think that that's probably going to be their smartest because the Bills do have a decent pass defense. It's not the best, but it is.
Yeah. See, that's another reason I put the Bills just because if you can take Nico Collins out, absolutely, you might be golden. So, but going into like things that I guess change the team's mindset or affect that's what I wanted. Affect the team's mindset. I think that there are 2 types of teams. When you are a really great team and you've been doing well and you're in the MVP talks and you suffer a loss as bad as they did where they looked like they just were defeated and gave up. You either come out the next week swinging and you're like, F everybody, like we're going to show you what we are, or you let it get in your head.
Absolutely.
So, again, this is a toss-up where I'm like, I feel like the scores could be leaning either.
Battle.
Yes, I think there's going to be hopefully a lot of touchdowns. I was telling Caitlin.
A lot of back and forth.
I know it's the year of the kicker, but like, I love some touchdowns. Okay?
We love touchdowns.
I want to see a touchdown.
I think with both of these teams, we're going to see a lot of touchdowns. You have Josh Allen. You have a lot of awesome offensive pieces. CJ Stroud. I think we're going to be good to go there. That's my guess. I think it's going to be a great game. I'm excited for this one.
I am super, super excited about that one.
For the Ravens and Bengals, I have it being 28-24 Ravens, and we were just talking about this. I think that the Bengals are like a good enough team. Obviously, they have Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and blah, blah, blah. T. Higgins. Exactly. And that's going to be, I think, a big game changer for them. I think they're going to see a lot more scoring. I just think that the Ravens are just such a good team that it is just going to be hard to beat them. And so
they're now playing like I thought they were going to because the start was rough, but now they are playing like I assumed.
Exactly. It almost like the Patriots. Those first couple games really threw us all off with everyone. Yeah. But that's just kind of, those are my vibes for them so far. Baltimore really needs to focus on their pass defense with the Bengals just because they do have Jamar Chase and T. Higgins back. So now they have 2 really great pass threats. And obviously with Joe Burrow, he is a fantastic quarterback. So I think that we're going to see a lot of the pass game initiated. The Bengals also need to find a way to slow Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson because they do have the 25th ranked run defense. And so I think that there's a couple of things. Obviously, if these teams are focusing and watching film and stuff like that and really looking at the stuff, there's going to be some adjustments that they're going to need to make. And I think that they know that. So I think it is going to be a close game. I think that the Bengals are going to be able to keep up with the Ravens now that they have, T. Higgins and obviously Jamar Chase. I think Jamar Chase is finally getting a little bit more comfortable in his role now that he's showing up to practice and games.
Wow, it's amazing what happens.
He knows his offense now. That's crazy. He's not literally reading his playbook while he's stretching before the game.
Like, oh shit, what is this?
Yeah, exactly. So I think
he's like, Spark Note, can you send me the Spark Notes of the offense?
Exactly. So obviously I think that Derrick Henry's going to be fantastic again. I think he really is going to run all over the Bengals defense. And I mean that figuratively and literally. Yeah, you get me.
Yes.
Get out of my range.
I'm like so similar. I have Ravens at 31 and Bengals at 24.
Okay, yeah.
So similar style. I think Baltimore is far away the most dominant rushing team in the NFL.
I would agree.
Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, like how I don't even know what to say.
Lamar Jackson being such a fantastic rushing quarterback, and then you have an actual guy like Derrick Henry to run the ball for you when you're like, I'm a little tired of running the ball myself. Here you go,
They
Derrick.
are averaging 45 and a half more rushing yards than the next closest team. So, and the Bengals struggle to stop the run. So not the best combo, especially when you have a 6'2", 230-pound running back running at his top speed right on you. So again, we'll see if they make some adjustments. I just think Derrick Henry is one of those people that you really can't limit. You just have to try and take other things out of the equation.
I agree.
So I think as long as the Ravens play to their strengths, I think they should be fine. I think their pass defense, same thing like you said, will be put to the test. So it's like Ravens, the Bengals need to focus on stopping the run, which they aren't really great at, and Baltimore is going to have to up their pass defense. So
I agree. Yep.
Either way,
we're such geniuses. Twins.
We are. I think, Ravens are going to run all over. I think Bengals are going to pass all over, but I think Ravens will run it to the W.
Wow, that was cute. Okay,
Twins. I just thought of that right now.
I love that. And the next game is a very important one to me, okay? Because it is a Rivals Week for us Denver Broncos fans.
And they're wearing throwback jerseys.
They're wearing our favorite, as they should. Honestly,
I'm obsessed.
They should look their absolute best when playing the smelly Raiders. Okay, I can smell you from here.
And it ain't good.
Okay, yeah, I'm just kidding. So they're obviously our rivals, and we have not won to them in years. We have not beaten them in years. I think they've beat us the last 9 times.
You know what I just realized is that we have 2 division rivals in a week because I'm going to the game next week, and my friend, I know, Kristen texted me today and was like, I'm going to miss you on Sunday. I was like, I want to be at the game. But Kayla and I will get to watch football together all day, which is equally as awesome. And so I will be at the game next Sunday. But yeah, so we have 2 big games in a row.
Yes.
But
we do.
Broncos are favored.
Yep,
like
Broncos
everywhere.
are favored,
like
and
everywhere.
I love that because I don't know. Like for me, I think that the Broncos are going in. Like I said, the Raiders have literally beat the Broncos the last 9 times, but I do think that
I have that written down.
Yeah, I do think that
There's
we are a
like
different team. Yeah,
that people have like long-standing
win streaks.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. I just think that the Broncos are like a little bit different, and I think that they're going into it with a different attitude and maybe like a little bit more of a game plan than just like hoping for the best with whatever we throw at them.
Yeah.
And obviously,
like trying not to lose, not trying to win, but just aiming not to lose, which there is a massive difference.
There is. And so, like, obviously, Devontae Adams is going to be out either way because he does have, I think, his hamstring injury or he's getting
ankle
traded.
Or something. Yeah, there's something going on.
We have no idea. And here's the thing is that the Raiders seem to use their run game a lot. And the Broncos obviously have one of the best defenses. And so I think that,
3.
Yep, period.
They're not 1 or 2, but they are 3.
And again, it's funny because I literally said last episode, bet on the under for every Broncos game. I do have this still being a little bit of a low scoring game just because
I have this being
obviously,
obviously
just with like Bo Nix still trying to like figure out the offense and everything like that. And the Raiders missing their biggest offensive piece plus us having such a good defense. I think that we are going to limit the Raiders a lot. I said bold take. I think Bo Nix breaks out this weekend and has a great showing. I think he has 2 passing touchdowns. That's my big bold take. So
that is a take.
It's a bold one.
That's a take for sure.
So I have the score being 17-10 Broncos. So
I have Broncos 13, Raiders 9. Same thing. I think we might even get lucky to limit the Raiders to 3 field goals.
I know. I could see that
because we've been doing great.
Sure.
Because if Aaron Rodgers doesn't get a damn touchdown, I really don't think Gardner Minshew or whatever the fuck his name is Minshew is going. I don't know why every time I read his last name it reminds me of cashew. I don't know.
See, okay, so for me, also, speaking of, this is on the other end of the ball or whatever, but the Broncos O-line needs to like really work for Bo because Max Crosby is one of the best sackers.
He scares me.
Yeah, he's one of the best sackers.
And I'm not talking about
currently.
on the field, which again, he's like one of the best sackers, but like his face, like his appearance scares me. He looks like someone that would mug me. I don't know.
I love that. No, that's good. I agree.
Am I wrong?
No, he's terrifying. I literally would probably walk the other way if I saw him on the street.
I would be somewhere else.
Yep. But the Raiders also have the 16th ranked pass defense and the 20th overall. So I think the Broncos do take advantage of that.
Yeah.
I think that everyone is really starting to feel like a little bit more locked in when you get 2 wins in a row as like not an awesome offensive team. I feel like it really does like light a fire under your butt for someone like Cortland Sutton, and obviously their runners like Javonte Williams and Jaleel McLaughlin and everything like that.
Well, I think when you're ranked, when you're put as an underdog and then you come out with these wins and it's obviously huge defensive wins. And then when you find out your defense is ranked number 3 in the NFL, you're like, okay, imagine how great we would be.
If we could just put it together.
If we could just put it together, we'd be getting on a roll. So I'm assuming they've been, practicing.
Especially at home too.
Yes. You just need, I'm like, as soon as the offense like clicks, I don't think the run game is going to get much better, but I do think Bo Nix can improve. So the offense. So I feel like it's like the Cowboys. You have Dak Prescott. Obviously, Bo Nix is working, so there's not Dak Prescott.
Yes.
But I'm just saying, we have a shitty run game, but at least we have, a good quarterback and a good wide receiver. So I think if Bo Nix can start putting it together, I hope like I think the weather is going to fare well
supposed to be
compared to last week.
Yeah.
So I think if him and Cortland Sutton can get on a really great page.
I agree. And I think they need to utilize Lil Jordan Humphrey a little bit more because he and Bo Nix had been playing so well together, and then they didn't utilize him at all last game in New Jersey, New York, whatever, wherever the Jets play. And so I think that they should utilize him a little bit more too if they're going to take advantage of that pass defense, that lacking pass defense. So I have 17-10 Broncos. You have 13-9 Broncos.
Yeah.
And like I said, please remember my bold take 2 passing touchdowns for Bo Nix.
Let's see.
She's like,
Who knows? Next, I have Cardinals versus 49ers. I think that this will be a somewhat great offensive game for the 49ers. I have 49ers at 34 and Cardinals at 15.
Oh, we were so close. I thought we were going to have the same
really?
score.
Do you have 49ers at 34 at least? Okay, so San Francisco ranks 3rd in the league in yards per play and is top 10 in scoring. So I think they should dominate this Arizona defense that gave up 42 points last week to the
what
Commanders.
Defense, babe?
Yeah.
Which one?
They did. I don't think they
have one.
I think the G League NFL.
Yeah,
the random XFL team. Yeah, the feeder team got the call instead of the starters.
I think the Water Boys were on the field.
It was the wrong people suited up because you give up 42 points to Washington Commanders, who are just now like starting to put it together.
Yep.
So I think that the 49ers will do amazing. Jordan Mason has been an incredible.
He's been so good.
Backup for Christian McCaffrey.
I love him.
George Kittle, I think, is still questionable. But again, I think as long as you have Kittle, like even though Debo and McCaffrey's out, you have really good backup pieces.
Absolutely. And then he's a monster. Like he can do kind of whatever you need him to do. He's like, I know he's a tight end and everything like that, but he's like a high utilization tight end where like you can let him do whatever.
It's disgusting. He's so great. And I love his personality. Like
Me
he's
too.
So fun to
he's
watch.
So good.
He literally caught a pass in 3 defenders, and I doubt they even have 3 defenders on the team. So that are going to show up. So I think I didn't have much to say other than because I don't think it's going to be a very interesting game.
I agree.
I don't think the 49ers defense has been as amazing in the past few weeks. So I do think like Cardinals, maybe get a couple on them. But
Me too.
I mean, I think the 49ers offense will do their thing, and Brock Purdy's been incredible. So
Yep. And so for me, I have 34-20 49ers. I do have the Cardinals scoring a little bit more here. Obviously, they have James Conner and Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray can score himself as well.
He can, but he's been a little iffy.
The last couple games for sure, but I think that he's the kind of quarterback, like he's someone that like the second that he was cleared to work out, out again. Like he's hungry. Like he wants to do well.
I think I don't even think it's as much on him. I really do think it's the play calling and the coaching here.
1000%.
I really do think that they're underutilizing his style of play.
Yes, I literally put they need to utilize Marvin Harrison Jr. a lot more in this game because they work really, really well together.
They do.
And San Francisco has the 15 most passing yards per game allowed. And so I think that the Cardinals really need to take advantage of that, and I hope that they do.
They just need to stop letting him or playing him like he's injured because
exactly. Stop playing scared. Like
stop playing scared.
He's back. He's been working so hard the first couple games. He showed you how good they score a lot. Like besides this last game against the Commanders.
They had that one game that they got like 42 points on another team.
Exactly. So like they're a really great scoring team. And so when you have a team that is kind of like an average pass defense, utilize that. So I think that they utilize I think that they utilize James Conner and Marvin Harrison Jr. a little bit more. I think we're going to see a lot of that. I do think that they score at least 2 touchdowns, maybe a couple of field goals and everything. But yeah, I do have it 34-20 49ers. I think that the 49ers take this one pretty handily.
I have, so with Seahawks versus Giants.
Who's that?
I've never talked about them, ever. I have Seahawks 27, Giants 20. Wow. I have...
What, Matt?
Seahawks 27, Giants 18. I think Malik Neighbors might still be out.
He is.
I thought, again, Monday showed that Seahawks can put up points when they need to. They, caught up to the Lions, of course.
Absolutely.
You have DK Metcalf. You have a ton of threats because when it wasn't working to DK Metcalf, they were just spreading the ball around.
It didn't matter. Yeah,
it didn't really matter. They were using a lot of different people I think that's what helped them. I think they switched things once they realized how down they were.
Well, yeah, especially because the thing was that we were talking about is that they wouldn't let DK Metcalf score. And so because they wouldn't let DK Metcalf score, the Seahawks
shows the
were
coaching.
So smart.
You adjusted, you realized, sorry, DK, not. I think he had several great passes. It's hard to limit him totally. Yes. But again, they were able to spread the ball around and make it a higher scoring game than I think anyone assumed it would be.
It was a great coached game because every time DK was in the end zone and they passed it to him and his pass was blocked, or there was pass interference or whatever it was, several were called back. Others were just, hands got in the ball and he just couldn't get it. But every single time after that, they called a play for a different man, totally different play. And they scored almost every single time after DK's pass or whatever was broken up in the end zone. Almost every single time they scored right after. Yeah. And so it's just really great coaching to be able to recognize that and change it up.
In-game adjustments is so key because you'd think that every coach is amazing at that, but I do think it's a really special skill because when you go in with a game plan, you might not be expecting to have to change anything. Totally. And so when you realize it's not working, to have that mind that's quick enough. And of course, this is a credit to everyone because the head coach is not doing that all himself. They're in talks with their defensive coordinator and their offensive coordinator. What are we going to do? I think it's a very, very group team effort. They're all on their headsets. But I just don't trust New York's offense to keep up with them at all. They're really good at, besides on Monday, shutting teams down on third down. Yep. So despite last week,
And what was the score you had for them?
Seahawks 27, Giants 18.
Okay, cool.
And again, I don't know if Malik Neighbors is playing.
He's not. He's out.
That sucks.
Yeah. Okay. So this was my
they
first.
They might be screwed.
This was my first.
Maybe they're 27-4.
Yeah. This was my first note.
I don't even know how you would
to 4. Two safeties.
Yeah, I was about to say 2 safeties.
So my first note is Malik Neighbors is still out for the Giants, which sucks because Jalen Hyatt is their other guy that would come in for Malik Neighbors. And he has not completed a single pass all season. He's had several targets and has not caught a single pass.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's very disheartening for the Giants. Yikes. So I actually have the final score being 31-12 Seahawks. And I have 12 because I have them getting 4 field goals. I do not think that they score a single time in this game.
Wow,
just because
you don't have them scoring at all? Interesting.
Just 4 field goals. Okay. And like I said, because the Seahawks do have such a great defense, they obviously gave up 42 points to the Lions last week. So I think the defense kind of comes back with a vengeance against a really crappy offense already. So I just think that the Giants are screwed against the Seahawks defense. And so obviously the Seahawks offense also has lots of weapons with DK Metcalf, Walker III, Tyler Lockett, Jackson Smith-Njigba. Njigba.
You finally have to say
I know,
the weird
a hard
names.
name. I'm sorry. But yeah, I don't think that the Giants will score.
Yeah, Seahawks are pretty deep. They're a playoff team. Like
they are.
I don't think they're a Super Bowl contender. No. I think we saw that against the Lions. But I do think they are a deeper playoff team.
I agree. Yep, 31-12 Seahawks. I don't have the Giants scoring at all.
They do well on both sides, I think.
Yep, I think that the Seahawks play really well. The Giants don't have an awesome defense either. So that's my vibes.
My next vibes, Packers 24, Rams 17.
Ooh, we're close on this one too.
So I think Green Bay has been rather in the games.
Yeah.
I will say Jordan Love obviously had a slow start and it doomed the Packers last week against the Vikings. I mean, he's coming back from an injury. I mean, you had Malik Willis who came in and won the only games that they've won. So I don't know what that means.
I think it means that they need to utilize their run game a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because obviously Jordan Love is a fantastic passing quarterback. But if that's not working,
that's all you can do.
Yeah, because Malik Willis, when he came in, that's exactly what the Green Bay coach did. Was they were like, okay, we need to not use the exact same offense that we have for Jordan Love.
Yeah.
And do, something that works a little bit more for Malik Willis. So they did a lot of the shorter passes and utilized the run game a little bit more. And they won their only 2 games.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think the Rams are just super injured and I just don't see them keeping up with Green Bay, you know, and able to get a win. Mm-hmm. The Rams are missing Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua, and it was pretty obvious. Jordan Love passed for 389 yards last week and 3 interceptions. So I do think
he threw 3 interceptions last week.
I think that this week he will obviously take much better care of the football. You're getting back, getting your feet wet again.
Yep.
So he's yet to win as the starting quarterback. So I think what should help. Oh my God, I'm so dumb.
What?
Because I was talking about who was I talking about?
What do you mean?
I was talking about Josh Jacobs for a different team.
Oopsies. That's okay. We'll put a little thing in there.
Because the Packers played the Vikings and I was talking about Josh Jacobs. Okay.
That's okay.
Remind me to take that out so I don't sound like a fucking idiot.
Perfect. I will.
Anyway, so Jordan Love has yet to win as the starting quarterback this season. So I think his running back, Josh Jacobs, going against the worst rushing defense in the NFL.
Sure are.
So I think the Packers get their first road win over the Rams since 2012. So another streak.
I love that.
But yeah, I have Packers.
Okay. Yep. I have something similar. So I have Packers 30, Rams 17. And so Jordan Love, I have them scoring a lot because Jordan Love, even though he really had a great second half last week, he kind of obviously got into the swing of things. He got a rhythm. And now he has a full uninjured week back with his team where he gets to just kind of
got a game under his belt, being back.
Exactly. Kind of shook off the nerves, shook off the dust, got to use his ankle and everything like that and just kind of be able to play and everything like that. So I think he's going to hopefully play a little bit less scared, take care of the ball a lot more, make a lot less crazy decisions. And so I think that they're going to do well on offense. I think that, oh God, where was I? The Rams do have one of the worst defenses, which we obviously talked about. So I do think that they allow the most yards per play. I think it's 7 yards per play that they're averaging, allowing other teams to.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that per play
that is almost
a
first down.
Every play. Yep, exactly.
Wow.
So it's been really bad. So I think that Green Bay is going to take advantage of that. Obviously, Kyren Williams on the Rams. He's had a rushing touchdown, though, in the last 7 games, dating back to last season.
Wow.
So I do think that they utilize Kyren Williams a lot and probably use him as their biggest offensive threat. Just with, like you said, with Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua out. You kind of have to use what you have, and he's obviously a great
work
running
with what
back.
you got.
Exactly. And then the Packers have the 3rd ranked offense and offensive yards per game. So I do have them kind of scoring a lot more on a very, very bad Rams defense. But I do have the Rams scoring a little bit on the average Packers defense. So I got 30-17 Packers.
So I don't want to talk about this game at all. But
She's not going to like what I have to say.
Cowboys versus Steelers. I have the Cowboys winning at 24.
That's so silly. No, I'm just kidding. That's great. I love that for you. I literally have the Broncos as a wild card team, so I cannot talk.
I have the Cowboys at 24 and the Steelers at 21. Okay.
Okay, that's a close. No, that's good. I have it being a decently close game.
I have it being pretty dang close. Both sides are dealing with missing starters. Obviously, we still don't have DeRon planned. We don't know if we're going to have Micah Parsons at the time of the filming of this video.
At the time of the filming.
And Lawrence is out. And now Brandon Cooks are like second most utilized wide receivers out. So I have to pick my team because I'm Delulu. But both sides are dealing with missing starters, and both sides have two rookies starting on the offensive line. Okay?
That's so crazy.
That's
so wild.
Okay. So, listen.
I just almost literally shot Dr. Pepper through my nose.
Cute.
So that was karma for me talking shit.
Yeah, fuck off. So the Cowboys struggle to run the ball. Obviously, they don't know how to stop the roll. Whoa. Don't know what.
Stop the roll, baby.
They don't know how to stop the run either. But the Steelers might be like pretty dang good at stopping the run. Whatever.
They might be like a little bit decent.
Then it's fine. But listen, even without Brandon Cooks on the field, this matchup could be good if we're attacking via the pass, which is what we pretty much have to do every week because the run game can't do anything. Okay? So considering the Steelers are 8th worst in the league in yards allowed per reception. Okay? And for reference, ranked 14th overall in receiving.
Do you think CeeDee Lamb gets his first 100-yard game?
Yes. And receiving touchdowns allowed, they're averaging at least one per week. Okay. So based on how much they run, cover 3 and single high, like with like heavy zone coverage and stuff like that, I think like we have good opportunities for like really good chunk run plays. Like really like, because again, CD can catch the ball and Dak can throw the ball pretty damn far.
Of course he can, yeah.
So,
and CD's fast.
And Dak has been doing amazing. So I do think, I mean, obviously they're going to target CD, but they don't have the best pass defense. So if CD can get a good route and like take off, if we can get like just some like fast, like, you know, like literally it took us like 3 minutes to get down into the end zone, you know, I think it could happen. This is my delusional guess, you know. I would love if Rico Dowdle and Ezekiel Elliott could stop sucking so much, okay? After I talked so highly of you.
I can't wait to tell you
freaking rude. The Cowboys have one rush of 10 plus yards that have come from a running back this season.
Yeah, okay, so it's
the fewest in the league.
It's really funny because
Boo tomato.
You just said that, and I'm gonna tell you what I have.
Okay,
and everything. Whatever. But so I have 27-20 Steelers. So I do have the Steelers beating them by a touchdown.
Fine.
I'm so sorry.
It's fine. Yeah.
But so what I put is that Cowboys still have not figured out the run yet, and Steelers do have one of the top overall defenses. Even though their pass defense isn't that great, their run defense is so good. And obviously the Cowboys run game is so bad. And
they're what?
I put
what about it?
I put so the boys with a Z are not figuring it out today.
Okay, well, you know, what if they put me in there? What if that?
Put me in, coach.
Put me in, coach. I promise I'll at least get you one first down. I'll get you. I will get you a run longer than 10 yards. I will get you 11 yards, baby. I promise you that.
Yeah, so I also have that the Cowboys defense is really rough. No offense to them. But I do think that Najee Harris and George Pickens will probably see the ball a ton.
If Micah Parsons doesn't play, then it will be a nightmare.
It will be pretty rough.
Yeah.
I didn't have a ton on this game just because I do think that overall it is going to be a pretty... I wouldn't say evenly matched because they each have their own strengths and stuff like that. Like obviously you have Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb on that end, and on the Steelers end you do have Najee Harris and George Pickens and Justin Fields, who has been playing really great overall. Obviously last week they were handed their first loss, but I think that they bounce back, and I do think that they win. I just think that if all they can do, like if their run defense is really as good as it has been, obviously the Cowboys are not going to have a single run yard. It's going to be probably really rough, and so they're going to have to utilize that pass defense.
It's fine.
Or that, their passing and everything, and I also think that they might adjust for that. So, I don't know.
Okay.
27-20
On to the next, because I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Well, I like this next one. Can I do my hot take?
I want to hear it.
Okay, so this last one, we're actually going to do Monday this week just because it is, I think, going to be a really good game. Monday. Chiefs Saints. I do have the final score being 24-20 Saints. I have the Saints handing Kansas City their first loss
We're
of the
so
year.
freaking close. I have Saints 23, Chiefs 19.
Did you pick the Saints to win too?
Yeah.
I love. Okay, good. That's great. Oh my God, we are so close.
I think this is their best chance.
I do too. And
I think this is Kansas City's best chance to lose, if that makes
yes, totally.
randomly.
Someone's best chance to finally win against them.
Yeah.
I just think that like Kansas City obviously started off with several wins. They are undefeated, 4-0. But every game, they've almost gotten like slower and slower. Like their first 2 games were literally won by penalties.
Yeah.
That they easily could have lost. And so I don't think that they haven't been stomping all over people the way that I think that they used to. A lot of people are really like playing up to the Chiefs rather than like the Chiefs playing down to them. A lot of people are playing really hard on them, trying to hand them these losses because they are team in the league, probably. They were one of the best teams in the league.
One of the best teams. I'm putting Vikings above them because
Me too,
Vikings are like winning by like flawless like games.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and I just think that like the Chiefs have like each
Patrick
game,
is throwing hella interceptions, my guy.
He is.
Well,
which
you're
is
not my guy, but you're throwing hella interceptions.
Which is just like not normal for them. And I just think too that like they're like looking increasingly more tired each game, and like the games are becoming slower and slower for them. And so with the Saints getting handed their butts to them last game, they literally got their asses kicked.
Yeah.
I think that they kind of come back, and I think that they, first of all, change up their offense a little bit because everyone did figure out their offense nice and easily. They're 2-2 now.
But like, kudos to you for having like 2 monster games where everyone's like, "What the hell? Like, what are they doing?" And then they're like, "Oh."
But like Clint Kubiak, he's smarter than that. He's gonna figure something out. And the Chiefs are obviously a very injured team right now. They have a very injured offense. I think you're gonna see them utilize Travis Kelce a lot more and Xavier Worthy, Samaje Perine, who was our old Broncos guy. He actually scored his first touchdown last game. So that was cool for him. Obviously, they're going to be utilizing Carson Steele and Justin Watson, but these are
Carson
guys.
Steele did not do good last night.
I was going to say
he
these
had
are guys
like
who
4
can't.
yards. Yeah,
exactly. I was going to say
he like had a really great like 2 first games. I don't know what happened. Like I mean,
he
they
dropped off real fast.
And they don't have Isaiah Pacheco, and now you're without Rashee Rice.
Yeah,
so
and they're obviously still missing Hollywood Brown. So I just think that the offense is going to be.
I think they're going to struggle.
Yeah,
struggle.
They obviously have a lot of guys, but these guys are not guys that you can trust with every single play.
No, and I just don't think they're the same like threat in the red zone, which like where they used to be. You know, they've really they're 24th in efficiency in the red zone this year, which is crazy
for this Chiefs team. Absolutely, for Patrick Mahomes in general.
And the Saints, meanwhile, have the NFL's top red zone defense.
Exactly.
So again, I think this is like the Saints' best chance to upset them, even though the game is an Arrowhead. I like New Orleans as an upset here. I think his like the Rashee Rice injury is a huge blow, and you know it's gonna rely on Xavier Worthy and Juju Smith-Schuster, and Juju Smith-Schuster has not been the same player he has been like for years. And you know you have Travis Kelce who's getting older, and he had a great game last week, but he wasn't doing so well in the beginning of the season. So I don't know. I think their undefeated streak might not continue. Who knows?
I agree, because I also have that Kansas City has a decent run defense and everything, but their pass defense, they are allowing over 200 yards per game, which is one of the worst in the NFL. And so I just think that when you have someone like Derek Carr, and Derek Carr has Rashid Shaheed and Chris Olave. I think
it's Olave. Chris Olave.
Yes, he has both of them, which are 2 fantastic receivers and guys that you can use for those types of plays, for the long run or for the the long pass plays and everything like that. And then you also have Alvin Kamara, and obviously the Chiefs do have a decent run defense, so they're gonna have to get really crafty with how they utilize Alvin. I just think
Sorry, I like literally I had to do that. I don't know. It just like it was a visceral response.
Alvin and the Chipmunks. I made that up. That was like my own theme song for them.
I always think of the Christmas song. Me, I want a hula hoop.
That's very cute. I love that.
With Theodore, he's so cute.
He is so cute. I love them.
Anyway,
it's fine. It's fine. But either way, 24-20. I have the Saints handing the Chiefs their first loss of the season. I think, like you said, that this is going to be their best chance. Shot. And I would love it because it's in Kansas City. So, like, to be in front of I'm saying some of nicely, some of the worst fans in the league.
I miss.
It would be incredible.
I miss when I could call it Burrowhead.
I'm sorry. Either way, we're super excited for Sunday and Monday.
Yes, we're so excited. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're not new here, welcome back.
We love to have you. We're so happy you're
We
here.
didn't even say our names, I guess.
Oh my
because
God,
we're
I'm
like,
Caitlin.
we just assume, I think, that everyone has been here before, I guess. As of right now, but yeah, I'm Spencer. This is Caitlin. We are U Sports. Caitlin's wearing one of our merch shirts.
Get out of the way.
Anything you can do, I can do cuter. Anything
Wait,
Anything
anything I
you
can do cuter than you.
Oh, yes. Anything you can do, I can do cuter.
Anything I can do cuter than you. No, you can't. Yes, I can.
Sure can. So
Sure can.
we will have our merch link below. Yep. And we're excited because we watched a preseason basketball game. So basketball episodes, once NBA is back, we will be having all of the things for you insane sports fans like us who want to watch 90% / 100%
every game ever.
Every single game ever. So we love you. We're grateful for you. We're so happy you're here.
We're so happy to be here.
We're so happy to be here.
Thanks for being here. Like, subscribe, comment, love us,
Yes,
hate
please.
us, whatever.
Please tell your friends, tell your girlfriends, tell your
your
boyfriends,
moms.
tell your moms, wives, sisters, aunts, uncles, nephews, nieces, dogs, pets, chihuahuas.
Your goldfish will probably like us most, so just put us on the TV and play us all day.
Yeah. Leave it on a loop. And we are on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, all of the podcast things. Linktree is also down below if you need to find your specific
Or if
place
you want
to
our merch or
listen.
anything like that, too.
If you don't want to look at us, fair.
That's so valid.
So valid.
I also don't want to look
We
at
love
me.
that for you and hate that for us. But we will see you soon.
So soon.
So soon.
Love you. Bye.
Love you, miss you, bye.